Curious Obsession, Thought Thief. Play a swamp, go to combat, attack you, mill you, draw a card. Need some new Zendikar Rising cards? You can get them today from our sponsor, Card Kingdom. Just head over to cardkingdom.com. Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another edition of Budget Magic. And this week, we are heading to Historic for a sweet take on Rogues. This is Curious Rogues, and unlike Standard Rogues, which is mostly developed into a control deck, this is a really kind of like Fairy-style aggro tempo rogue deck, looking to get in a bunch of early damage with cheap rogues, pump up with lords, kill the opponent quickly with some counters and removal to back it up. As you can see, the deck is actually kind of expensive in paper for a budget deck, $124, but there's a reason for this. And the reason is, Historic's a Magic Arena format. Like, it doesn't exist in paper, so I didn't actually consider the paper price of this deck at all. I went exclusively by rare and mythic wild cards. And this deck has 0 mythics, 15 rares in the entire 75, and even that's like a little deceptive. If you actually look at the breakdown, 11 of our 15 rares are lands, 2 dual lands, some Castle Lockwades. So that means out of all the non-land cards in our main deck and sideboard, it's a single play set of rares. So hopefully this is a deck that you can put together pretty cheaply. I mean, if you already have a decent mana base from like the last year of Standard, you can build this deck for basically free. Like 4 rare wild cards is all you need, and even if you need to get some of the lands to fill it out, it still shouldn't be super pricey to put together. So anyway, let's talk Curious Rogues, jump into our game, see it in action, starting with our 2 lords. We have Soaring Thought Thief, which you probably know from Standard, pumping our rogues, being a good flyer. The new Historic Edition is Una's Blackguard, which is actually really insane. It kind of works like Metallic Mimic, where if we get on the battlefield first, all of our other rogues are coming to play with a +1/+1 counter, and then whenever a creature we control with a +1/+1 counter deals combat damage to a player, that player has to discard a card. So not only does this wipe out our opponent's hand pretty quickly, it also fills our opponent's graveyard to help turn out our Soaring Thought Thief by getting 8 cards in the graveyard to turn that into a lord as well and power up some of our other cards. So these are our big payoff rogues. At the top end of our curve, we have our 1 non-land rare, Nighthawk Scavenger, since we are milling with Soaring Thought Thief, and also make your opponent discard with Una's Blackguard. Hopefully we can make Nighthawk Scavenger into a really big threat, and it lines up pretty well with the removal of Historic. There's not like a lightning bolt, which is one of the deal breakers for Nighthawk Scavenger in Modern. In Historic, people normally can't kill it super easily. Got shocks and stomps running around. Nighthawk Scavenger dodges that, gives us a massive life-linking flyer. Then we have all of our 1-drop flying rogues. Fairy Miscreant, maybe draws us a card if we have 2 of them. Merfolk Windrobber, a little bit more milling. Nightshade Singer, the worst of the bunch, just a 1/1 flying, can't block rogue for 1. But this gives us a ton of cheap rogues to be pumped by your Soaring Thought Thief, to get pumped by your Una's Blackguard, to attack, deal flying damage, and to wear our Curious Obsession. The curious part of the deck is Curious Obsession, our big card advantage engine, works really well with all our evasive 1-drops. So we have some games where we're just like, turn 1 Fairy Miscreant, or Windrobber, or Nightshade Seer, put the Curious Obsession on it, start attacking, drawing extra cards, and kind of just snowball that value into more rogues, into rogue lords, into removal and counter spells to disrupt our opponent and win the game. As far as interaction, we have Bloodchief Thirst for removal, Drown in the Lock, removal, or a counter spell, depending on the situation, but only if we fill our opponent's graveyard. And then Lofty Denial, basically a supercharged mana leak in our deck because we have so many 1-mana flyers. It's usually always 2 mana, counter something unless the opponent pays 4, which is a very decent counter spell in the format like Historic. As far as the mana base, this is a big cost to the deck. Because we're so aggressive, we can't really afford tap land. So we have Watery Grave and Clearwater Pathway, Castle Lockwade to refill after we run out of cards, some basic lands. In the sideboard, basically customizing removal and counter spells. Heartless Act, Feed the Swarm, Grasp of Darkness for removal, Ether Gust for red and green decks, Negate, Mystical Dispute for counters, Duress to pick up our opponent's hand and control matchups. And that is Curious Rogues for Historic, 15 rare, mostly in the mana base Curious Rogues, no mythics, and that's our budget Magic deck for this week. So let's jump into some games, see the deck in action. Thanks for watching. I hope you all enjoy it, and I'll be back in a bit with the wrap up. All right, budget Magic time. We are historicing this week, playing some favorable rogues, and well, all right, we'll try this. I mean, we have turn 2 Curious Obsession on a Nightshade Stinger. If our opponent doesn't have removal, that's a pretty good deal. And then to finish things off, the Scavengers. Seems reasonable. Yeah, we'll see if our opponent shows up. They may not by the looks. Alright, so opponent is here. Well, land and Nightshade Stinger, go. Opponent, Forest. Well, Island. Curious Obsession, Nightshade Stinger. Go to combat, attack, draw a card. Yes, please. Nightshade Stinger 2. Go. Forest for our opponent, passes. Well, go to combat, attack. Hit ya, draw a card. Let's Castle Lockway and Una Blackguard. We could run out nice Scavenger, but there's no cards in the graveyard, so it doesn't really do anything exciting yet. Wow! Nightshade Stinger! Too good, apparently. Well, opponent's playing a green deck, so Ether Gust in. Heartless Axe in. We'll go down a couple Drowned in the Locks. We'll go down... Couple Drowned in the Locks. What else do we cut? Maybe a Lofty Denial. Scavenger might be necessary. Well, let's go to a couple Nightshade Stingers. The hero from last game. But I think it's the worst of our 1-drops, so if we gotta cut 1-drops, I think that's the way to go. Well, that went well. Ooh, double Miscreant hand. Alright, sure. Forest for our opponent. Llanowar Elves. Opponent's off to a faster start here. So let's see. Yeah, I think we have to play this untapped. Fairy Miscreant. Go. Forest for our opponent. Elvish Visionary. Well, Castle Lockway and Una's Blackguard. Get in for 1. Forest for our opponent. Llanowar Vision. Wow, so much ramp. So, is this Elves? Maybe it's Elves. Arboreal Grazer. Do they have a land? Alright. Well, we'll see what big finish our opponent has. Opponent hits us. We draw a Swamp, so, play the Swamp. Una's Blackguard number 2. Fairy Miscreant. Attack, attack. Well, the question's going to be, what's the payoff? If our opponent has something like Ugin, that's going to be difficult for us to get out from under. Solemn. Alright, so opponent keeps ramping. I guess, like, Craterhoof is also pretty bad. The good news is, I think we can just wrath our opponent's hand, right? We kill the Grazer and then attack, and our opponent's going to be in top deck mode. That might be enough. Like, Una's Blackguard does have an upside. Opponent plays a land. Well, we will Blood Chief's Thirst, the Grazer, attack with everything, clear the hand. Yeah. Mindstone, and... Oh, it wasn't Ugin! Okay. 6. So opponent has so much mana we can't really stop it. So we just got to kill them as quickly as possible. Alright, so Clearwater Pathway on blue. Nighthawk Scavenger. Pass the turn! No top deck for 1 turn, please. Opponent. No! Did they really top deck? Oh, no, they didn't top deck. I think they were just giving up. Opponent hits us. We don't actually lose life because of Scavenger. Passes. Combat. Attack ya. Rogue ya. Alright. That felt good. That felt really good. Una's Blackguard can do some things. And, yeah, we'll take it. Whew. Well, yeah. Rogue 'em. Sweet, sweet. Alright. Budget magic time. We are playing some Curious Rogues in Historic this week. Historic budget magic. And, well, alright. We'll keep this. We're on the draw, but we have Miscreant into Blackguard into double 1-drop, which is decent. Ooh, and a Curious Obsession. Opponent is on red mana. Well, let's Swamp and Nightshade Stinger. So I think we Stinger first, then we can Blackguard double Miscreant in 1 turn. Is it probably means lots of removal, which is a concern. Alright, Dorat. Opponent passes. Well, play a land. Una's Blackguard. Go attacking. Hit ya. Yeah, opponent presumably does have a lot of, like, shock effects, which might be tough. On the other hand, if Blackguard can live for 1 turn, we can build a pretty good Air Force. Tap land. I'll play an island. Fairy Miscreant. And, yeah, I guess we can't attack at the moment. Pass the turn. We can flash in a Thought Thief. Mountain. Winged Words. Grows the Dorat, draws some cards. Gonna need to hit removal at some point. Opponent passes. Well, Soaring Thought Thief. Opponent has Lofty Denial. Alright. Removal. Scavenger. Well, play Fairy Miscreant. Draw a card. Play Curious Obsession. Go attacking. Opponent takes it. They got a discard. We get to draw. Oh, we really need a removal spell. Removal, please? Alright. Sure. Crackling Drake, draw a card. Opponent passes. I'll play a Swamp. Play Nighthawk Scavenger. And... ugh. Yeah, I think we gotta just pass. We're gonna lose our Curious Obsession, but that's alright. Sure. We did find a removal spell. It's risky to cast it there, though, because a single spell would ruin everything. Opponent, another Wingwords. So opponent's drawing many cards. They do need to make sure that they never get hit by our +1/+1 counter creatures, at least as long as Una's Blackguard is around. Island. Strategic Planning. Grows Dorat. Mills a couple cards. Blitz. Well, we will Drown in the Lock that. Opponent passes. I'll go to combat. Attack ya. Opponent trades it off. Sure. I'll cast a Lockwayne. Draw a card. Ooh, the Flood. We don't have that many lands in this deck. Yeah, that's not ideal. Opponent, another Crackling Drake. And yeah, we've drawn a few too many lands. Actually, many too many lands here. Opponent. Pass it. Oh no. Oh no. Well, Watery Grave tapped. Pass the turd. Oh no. Oh no, oh no. Yeah, this is really bad. Like, yes, this is real bad. Opponent. We've just drawn way too many lands. Kills a Fairy Miscreant, grows a Dorat. And our opponent's threats are getting really massive, which is a problem. Opponent plays a land. Crash through. Oh, so I think we're just dead. Alright. Well, yeah. We got off to a decent start, but we've just drawn lands every turn of this game. Which, is not a way to win. Wind Robber, sure. And we'll scoop it up. Yeah, I mean... 9 lands in, like, 5 spells. Not gonna do it in this matchup. So we'll bring in the Grasp of Darkness. We will bring in... maybe... Let's go down a couple Nightshade Stingers. Bring in Grasp of Darkness. Feed the Swarm. Mystical Dispute. Heartless Act's a bit hit or miss, but... alright, let's try it like that. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, flooding is tough. We even had the Castle Lockwaynes, and we were still flooding, even through the Castle Lockway draws, which is doubly troubly. Alright, we are on the play for game number 2 against Izzet. Well, okay. No 1-drop, which is awkward. But, I mean, we have Soaring Thought Thief. Hopefully into Curious Obsession. Opponent ups. To the top. Well, Island go. 2 Soaring Thought Thieves is interesting. Sulfur Falls. Alright, Strategic Planning. Well, we will run out of Thought Thief. Opponent's gonna help us fill the graveyard, which is nice. Because that'll turn on Drown in the Lock, or keep it powered up. Alright, gets a card, mills a couple lands. Well, we will... Curious Obsession, Thought Thief. Play a Swamp. Go to combat, attack you. Mill you. Draw a card. Pass the turn. Untap land. Opponent ops. Sure. So, the Soaring Thought Thieves are gonna go Lord mode next turn. So we actually have a super fast clock here. To the top. Strategic Planning. Alright, sure. I mean, I guess getting back Arclights would be annoying, but... alright, still no Arclights milled. Well, Soaring Thought Thief number 2. Untap. Land on black. Go to combat, attack you. And I actually think we don't even cast anything. We have a 2-turn clock, and we have double counterspell. Double hard counterspell at this point. So I actually think we just pass. We could have run out the blackguards, but double counter seems way better. I don't know how we lose with double counterspell up. Enigma Drake. Well, Lofty Denial. And opponent scoops it up. Alright, so we just were more aggressive that game. And our opponent's start was a bit slower, so we will take it. Oh, the Heartless Axe could be good. Maybe we go down a couple Blood Chief's Thirst for a couple Heartless Axe. Yeah, let's try it like that. Like, Blood Chief's Thirst, it gets exactly Sprite Dragon. Heartless Act exactly doesn't get Sprite Dragon, but gets Enigma Drake and Crackling Drake, so I think it's worth it. Well, so far this matchup has been whoever has been on the play has won. Well, let's see if we can break serve for game number 3. Huh. Okay. I mean, I guess we keep this? It's a little land heavy, but we do have Castle Lockwane, and we have 2 decent interactive spells. And our opponent, mulliganing aggressively, they might be scared of our deck. I'm kind of scared of their deck, too. They have a lot of flyers and indecent removal. The risk with this hand is we keep drawing lands. If we keep drawing lands, this could go wrong in a hurry. Opponent ups. To the top. Oh boy. Alright, so we might be on the keep drawing lands plan. Well, that is a risk with keeping a land heavy hand. That also makes our Castle Lockwane worse. Strategic planning. You know what? We're gonna counter that. We're ahead. We gotta be aggressive. Force our advantage. Well, land in blackguard. Go. I mean, Fairy Miscreant at least is not a land. Untap land. Enigma Drake. I'll play a Swamp. Heartless Act. Enigma Drake. Fairy Miscreant. Get a counter. Hit you for 1. 3 cards in the graveyard. Oh, that's what you want to see. When your opponent is having to cast their like Warlord's Fury effects with no threats, you know that's just desperate. And that's one of the issues with the Is It deck is it is a little bit threat light. The threats are good. Oh, wow. All right. Well, Castle Lockwane. Go to combat. Attack. Make you discard. Little awkward that we only have 1 blue source, but these Draw on the Locks are going to be... They're pretty much hard counters. Again, opponent discards a Lofty Denial. Not great when you're behind. Opponent. And don't have any flyers. Enigma Drake. Well, drown in the lock. Play a Swamp. Go to combat. Attack you. Make you discard. Down to 1 card in hand. And we're going to sit on Drown in the Lock because I'm not sure how we lose if we do. Another blue source would be nice so we could do 2 things, but... Opponent. Untap land. Oh, come on. Run it out. Run out Crackles into this Drown in the Lock. Entrancing Melody on Miscreant. Yeah, I mean, counter it. Sorry, Thought Thief. All right. That went pretty well. I mean, our opponent mulliganed in game 3, but we beat him fairly in game 2 after losing game 1, and you can kind of see the tempo power of this deck. It's very low to the ground and very aggressive. In some ways, it's the opposite of the standard Rogue deck, which the standard Rogue deck is basically a control deck for the most part. This is much more of like a fairy style deck, where it's definitely a tempo aggro deck where you're trying to get fast wins, and well, you got a fast win there. Sweet, sweet. All right, budget magic time. We are historicing this week. Budget. Ooh, all right, we'll keep this. Budget. Curious Rogues. Swamp for our opponent. Gutter Bones. Well, all right, this looks like an aggro race. Well, Watery Grave, untapped. Fairy Miscreant, go. We will see. Gonna need to get some cards in our opponent's graveyard to turn on these Drowned in the Locks. Thoughtseize. Well, that's a card in the graveyard. I assume you take the black card, but I don't know. Maybe you're worried about the removal. Yeah, it takes a black card. Thoughtseize number 2. I'm almost tempted to just block here. Yeah, I think we're going to. We will block. Castle Lockwane. Go. Counter Knight of the Ebon Legion. Ooh, Soaring Thought Thief. Well, Pathway on blue. Wind Robber. Go. Opponent. Well, alright. Soaring Thought Thief. There's a Swamp. That turns out Castle Lockwane. That's good news. Mill you. Hit you. Down to 13. Mill you. Alright, Dreadwander, that's fine. So opponent does have a lot of recursive threats. Are they going to be able to recur them, though? Opponent hits a land. Well, yeah. Wait, let's read Gutter Bones. Yeah, whatever. If you get back Gutter Bones, that's fine. Castle Lockwane, draw a card. Play a Swamp. Go to combat. Attack ya. Mill ya. Pump 'em. Hit ya. Mill ya. Yeah, pass the turn, and we might just be getting there. And opponent scoops it up? Okay. Wow. Opponent had the aggro start of the play, and it was not enough. So opponent has 1,000,000 recursive 1-drops. What's bad in this matchup? Honestly, probably Lofty Denials. At least most of them. So go down Lofty Denials, Grasp of Darkness in, Heartless Act in, and Feed the Swarm maybe? You know what? Let's keep a Lofty Denial. Yeah, we don't have any hard graveyard hate. No Grafdigger's Cage, no Leyline. Mostly because of actually exclusively because of budget purposes. Trying to keep the cost down. Well, all right, we're going to keep this. This is a lot of action, but there is risk that we don't draw land. Watery Grave untapped. Nightshade Stinger. Go. I mean, this hand is great if we hit our land drops and can just deploy our spells. Gifted Aetherborn. Opponent gets and hits us. That's not a land. Well, Curious Obsession on the Nightshade Stinger. Get in. Pray for land. Please? Please, please? Alright. Swamp and Bloodchief's Thirst. Kill Gifted Aetherborn. Well, now our opponent needs to kill this Nightshade Stinger or it's going to keep drawing cards. Thoughtseize. I mean, our hand is great. Our hand is just, like, insane. Alright, and they have the removal spell. That's fine. Opponent gets and hits us. Sure. Down to 14. Now, play an island. Play a Nighthawk Scavenger. Opponent, you got more removal? Alright, opponents hit all the removal spells. Well, now it's our job to pressure our opponent. Well, play a Fairy Miscreant. Pass the turn. Because our opponent's going to get to start drawing, so we need to be the one that's pressuring. Opponent gets in. Hits us. Sure. No blocks. Down to 10. Well, Soaring Thought Thief. Jeez, alright, so opponent's got all the removal. Well, Wind Robber. Soaring Thought Thief. Go attacking. Milieu. Alright, we will see. Opponent. Wow! 4 removal spells. Opponent gets it. Hits us. No blocks. Well, this has just been an insane draw for our opponent. Get in, hit our opponent. Mill our opponent. Pathway. On blue, pass the turn. Wow. Wow, that is a record-setting number of removal spells. Opponent peels a Rankle. Alright, sure. Gets in. Hits us. Down to 3. And I think this is now game. Each player sacks a creature. That was probably a punt on our opponent's part, honestly. We draw more useless lands. Well, play the swamp, pass the turn. Opponent goes to combat. Attacks. Well, we get to block. And sack to draw. Opponent gets back Dread Wanderer. Draws another Dread Wanderer. And we will scoop it up. Alright, well, our opponent had the perfect hand for this game. On to game 3, we're on the play. I actually like how a lot of this lines up. I think it's unlikely that our opponent will have the 4 removal spell opener again. I mean, we actually made that pretty close, considering our opponent's just ridiculously removal heavy hand. Alright, we're on the play for this game. Let's get a good one. Well, we will keep. This hand is somewhat sketchy. There is a risk that we don't draw lands. I don't think 1-mana flyers can do it by themselves. Opponent, Swamp. Knight of the Even Legion. That's doubly awkward. Well, Fairy Miscreant, draw a card. Oh boy. Oh, we're seeing the drawback of Pathways. Yeah. If we don't draw black mana, this one's over. Opponent gets in, hits us. The old Pathway, but this is why I'm skeptical. I hear everyone saying, oh, the greatest dual land cycle since Alpha. This game would beg to differ with that assessment of Pathways. Oh, yeah, opponent. Removal spell 1 of, probably 70. Well, I mean, the question is, do we draw black mana? If we draw black mana, this hand is not bad. If we do not draw black mana, the game is over. Spawn of Mayhem. And we do not draw black mana. Well, I mean, I guess we'll keep it going. It was a risky keep. Our deck really only wants 2 to 3 lands, so the absolute number of lands is fine. Although maybe the fact that it was a Pathway means we should have shipped it. I'm pretty sure we're just dead though. Like, I think we have to draw a black source this exact turn, or the game is literally over. We're down to 9, and even if we draw a black source this turn, it might still be over. And an island. All right. Well, best dual land cycle since Alpha. Oh, people. People and their evaluations. Well, I mean, I guess you could say that we just shouldn't have kept that hand, and that is arguably true. At the same time, it does illuminate how pathways are more of a medium fast land level dual land cycle than a greatest of all time cycle, as some people have said. Alright, well, on to the next one. Budget magic time. We are historicing this week with Curious Rogues, and well, alright, we'll keep this. No one drop isn't ideal, but we'll see. We'll see what our opponent's up to. Ramping, eh? Alright, well, land go. Opponent, planes, and gets in for one. And, oh boy, more ramp. Uh-oh. Well, there's our one drop. Not the best timing for the Miscreant. Would have been a much better on turn one into counterspell on turn two, but what can you do? Opponent. So now we gotta hope they don't hit anything too big, or if they do hit something big, we can stop it. We do have counters. We'll see. Opponent having 5 mana on turn 3 is frightening, though. Oh, that is not what I was expecting. Okay. Linvala gets in for 1. No blocks. Wouldn't mind another blue source. Or a black source, I mean. Well. Yeah, I guess we pass. Yeah, blue source would be nice because we could play something and leave up a counter, but I think with the amount of mana our opponent has, I feel like we need to leave up a counter. Opponent gets in. Gets in. Alright, no blocks. Down to 14. Play us. Okay, well, now we can't leave up counters. Nighthawk Scavenger, Merfolk Windrobber. Well, no whammies. We got to the point where there just really wasn't a choice. This could be Collected Company. Yeah. Well, please don't be too good. Deputy Detention Scavenging Ooze. Alright, so that's pretty good. Grabs our Scavenger. Yeah, this awkward mana is very punishing at the moment. Deputy of Detention. Hits the Blackguard. Well, alright. Not a great place to be. The pinch on blue mana kept us from being able to do it. I mean, kept us from being able to do what we need to do. Opponent thinking things over. Gets in, gets in, gets in. Well, no blocks. I feel like we might just be dead here. 1 card in the graveyard. Opponent plays a land. Well, Fairy Miscreant. Yeah. Actually, we're just going to concede. The mana troubles just kinda ruined it. Alright, so opponent's playing Bank Company. I feel like this should be a pretty good matchup for our deck. We'll see. So let's go down Nightshade Stinger. Go up, more removal, also Ether Gust. Go down a Drown in the Lock. And try it like that. Alright. Yeah, so the problem that game was we couldn't play things and leave up counters, and that let our opponent kind of go off with the Collected Company. If we had double blue and double black, I feel like that would have played out differently. We counter the Collected Company. We'll see. I mean, so we're in the play for game number 2, which is good. Hopefully our mana is a smidge on the smooth side. All right, on to game number 2 against Bank Company, I guess. We'll play first. Yeah, we'll keep this. This hand's pretty good. Yeah, let's just land Miscreant. We can kill the Mana Dork if they have Llanowar Elves. No Llanowar Elves. Well, in that case... Alright, let's just Miscreant. Draw a card. Watery Grave tapped. Get in for 1. Untap land. Opponent down to 17. Paradise Druid. Play the land. Go to combat. Attack. Is a tiny bit awkward that now we don't have double black and we have 2 Scavengers. Oh, mana problems. Opponent. Feyburrow Elder. Well, we will run out this Soaring Thought Thief. Untap. Kill Feyburrow Elder. Go attacking. Mill you. Hit ya. Pass the turn. Would still like another Black Source. Fauna Shaman. Opponent. Passing. Ooh. Well, we will Curious Obsession. Soaring Thought Thief. Go to combat. Attack. Mill. Wow, we hit 2 more lands. We're hitting all the lands our opponent desperately needs. Draw a card. Kill Fauna Shaman. Alright, opponent needs something pretty good here. Apparently, we're better at functioning with 3 lands than our opponent. I mean, if they can't deal with anything, they're just actually dead here. All right, Deputy of Detention. Hits the Soaring Thought Thief. So that does keep our opponent alive for a minute. Ooh. Well, another Miscreant. Draw a card. Ugh. Soaring Thought Thief. Go attacking. Mill you. Opponent goes to 4. Boy, we cannot cast any of these Scavengers. Our mana's been just as awkward as, or almost as awkward as last game, but we're in much better shape here. Opponent hits the land. So if they can Deputy of Detention Fairy Miscreant, although it's hilarious if we can kill it. Wow, they're going to. Oh man, please give us a land. It would be so sweet. Opponent. Another Miscreant. Well, go to combat. Attack you. Mill you. Play a Miscreant. Pass the turn. Oh, this is so awkward. Opponent. Oh, just a mana screw a minute this match. If we kill this Deputy, it's so sweet. Opponent, Knight of Autumn. Gains a bit of life. Fauna Shaman. Gets in. No blocks. No fear of a Soaring Thought Thief. Well, Curious Obsession on Miscreant. Go attacking. Mill some cards. Hit you to 1. Pass the turn. Drown the Lock's not bad. Drown the Lock's actually great. Opponent. Wow. Chain Whirler is ambitious with this mana base. I guess they're just hoping to Coco into it. That is so greedy. Call the Death Dweller. Well, we will counter that. And game? Okay. Well, our mana was as awkward as it was in game 1. But we did manage to squeeze out the win. Oh. Alright. Alright, let's keep the Drown in the lock. Now that we see Call the Death Dweller with Goblin Chain Whirler, I feel like we gotta stop that, because that's just a really janky wrath. So that's our opponent's plan, I guess. I don't think they can even cast Chain Whirler. I guess maybe if they have triple Paradise Druid, but it doesn't seem like they could really cast it. Instead, it seems like they're planning to reanimate it, or attempt to. Alright, we are on the draw for game number 3 against, alright, 1 land, 1 keep. Opponent, Overgrowth Tomb, Llanowar Elves. I'll play the Swamp and kill Llanowar. Opponent. Another Llanowar. Well, alright, if our opponent's going to keep the 1-lander based on Llanowar Elves, we are going to do our best to kill the Llanowar Elves. So opponent's going to need to draw lands, or this might be over quickly. Well, yeah, Una's Blackguard. Go. Alright, opponent finds land. Do they have another Mana Dork? Baffling End. Alright, we would like to draw land. A land would be good. Pathway on blue. Windrobber. Go. It would be nice to get in some damage while our opponent's mana screwed. Paradise Druid. We will counter it. Scavenger. Land. Windrobber. Go attacking. Mill you. Hit a land, please. Land? Ooh, Extinction Event. Alright. Opponent's got a little bit of everything. Wow, we milled him into the land. Deputy of Detention for our opponent. Hits the Scavenger. Go to combat. Attack you. Mill. Kill the Deputy. Pass the turn. Do we mill him into another land? We did mill all non-lands so far. Okay. Oh, we did mill him into another land. I'll go to combat. Get him with Scavenger. Opponent blocks. Windrobber. Alright. Go, Windrobber Tron. Close this out for us. Fauna Shaman. Okay. And a land. Well, opponent passes. Go to combat. Hit ya. Mill ya. Una's Blackguard. Go. Mana's working out well this game. Alright, opponent discards a Chain Whirler. Gets a Deputy. Plays the Deputy. Well, we will counter it. Actually, you know what? That's fine. Because we can just sack a Windrobber. Yeah, so we sack it, draw a card, save the other ones. Opponent passes. I'll play a Swamp. Go to combat. Attack ya. Hit ya. Down to 7. Mill ya. Miscreant. Go. So I guess what we're worried about is reanimate Chain Whirler with counter backup. That would be the best thing our opponent could do. Well, let's see if they got counter backup. Wow, okay. So sack a Windrobber. Draw nothing. Sack a Windrobber. Counter the Call of the Death Dweller. Oh! Saved by our wind robbers. Opponent. Gonna be empty-handed now. Yeah, alright. Empty-handed anyway. Opponent. Oh, another counter would be great. That would probably seal the game. I'm actually tempted to block this Fauna Shaman. I think we do. Alright, come on, deck. Not a land. Alright, it's a land. Well, Watery Grave hit you for 1. Opponent gets it for 1. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, do the Magic Gods not like rogues? Opponent hits us. Passes. I'll go to combat. Attack. Pass the turn. What a fizzle. Opponent hits us. Passes. I'll go to combat. Attack ya. Down to 3. Boy, if we could have had any creature, we would have probably won by now. Apparently our opponent's also drawing a bunch of lands in a row, though. Well, Island. Hit ya. The Una's Blackguard that could. Maybe. Opponent hits us. Down to 14. Well, Pathway. On black. Go attacking. Hit ya. Alright, this is it. Opponent's got to draw something this turn, or the 6-turn fizzle game is going to be won by the Una's Blackguard. Apparently both of us just kind of oh, the double fizzle. The double fizzle. Alright. Well, we drew a bunch of nothing, and apparently our opponent drew just as much a bunch of nothing, and the Una's Blackguard with 6 attacks. I got the job done. Oh, I wonder if we should have blocked that Fauna Shaman. The downside is, if we let our opponent keep it, I also wonder if our opponent should have attacked with it. If we let our opponent keep it, any creature they draw is their best creature in their deck, and that's very bad news for us, because we've seen so many utility creatures. That's removal, that's life gain from Night of Autumn. On the other hand, if we don't kill it, our clock is several times as fast. Our line was more conservative. It did work out. I still don't know. That's a really, really tight call there, but, well, we'll take it. Rogues, getting it done. Sweet, sweet. All right, budget magic time. We are historicing this week with, ooh, look at that curve. Look at that curve. With favorable rogues and, all right, let's just play Fairy Miscreant. Opponent leads on a Triome, so probably ramp dot deck, I would assume. Untap land. Ooh, wall. Oh, it's Neoform combo. All right, interesting. Well, okay. This means we could die pretty quickly. We need to get this Drown the Lock turned on, and then we need to sit on it religiously to make sure we don't die to the combo. Could we die this turn? Can't die this turn. We need one more. Opponent needs 1 more mana. Shimmer Possibilities. Yeah, well, so tempo / counter / plan dot rogues. I think that's where we are at the moment. Ooh, another Drown on the Lock is good. Well, we'll play an island. We'll play Wind Robber. We will go attacking, mill some cards. I feel like if we sit on these counters, we should be in decent shape. Untap land. Ooh, do they have it? Seagate, Stormcaller. Huh. Yeah, I guess we just counter this rather than try to counter the Neoform. Oh, all right. So opponent wins. Sure. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe some of you have not seen the combo yet. I mean, this is a legit tier deck in Historic, not a Rogue Brew. So So if you see a Stormcaller, Neoform a 2-drop, you get 4 Dualcaster Mages, some number of Rogues, extra combat steps, and also haste. So here comes the Rogues. So if it happens again, well, I mean, I thought we were in good shape too, but our opponent they needed to have exactly... Yeah, so we're just dead. They needed to have exactly that, essentially. They needed free counterspell on top of yeah, they needed free counterspell on top of everything else. We'll go down the Nightshade Stinger. We'll bring in a bunch more counters. Removal's not super good, although I think we cut Blood Chief's Thirst and bring in instant speed removal. Instant speed removal does have some benefit. All right, we'll go 2 Duresses. Actually, we probably want all 3. What else can we cut? I mean, we don't want to have literally 0 removal spells. All right, we'll go... I mean, we do have Drown in the Lock. Let's try it like that. Well, good hand. That Pact of Negation, pretty key for our opponent. Well, we play first. I feel like this should probably be a good matchup for us, but if our opponent has the counters to counter us back, who knows? Milling does have some value because we can mill combo pieces, and our opponent doesn't have that much redundancy with their combo pieces. Tap land for our opponent. Well, island. Yeah, Seagate Stormcaller. Milia. Hit ya, Milia. All lands. Opponent. Paradise Druid. Now play a swamp. Go to combat. Attack ya. Milia. Milia. Opponent. I mean, if they have the absolute nuts, they could win here. Like, land, Seagate Stormcaller, Pact of Negation, Neoform. So you need 4 specific cards in hand. All right, it's a tap land. It's a Paradise Druid. Sure. If we can leave up 2 counters, we're much less likely to lose to a Pact of Negation. Down to 16. Or 3. 3's even better. Well, Pathway on blue. Go attacking. Hit ya. Mill ya. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna sit on our counters and hope this wins the race. If our opponent taps Paradise Druid, we will kill one. We have 3 counters now, so we can afford to use a Drown in the Lock as removal. I mean, I think we're winning this race anyway, but if we kill the Paradise Druid, then we're certainly winning the race. One of the downsides of our opponent's deck is it's a very dedicated combo deck, so it doesn't have that much room for interaction. So the odds of them like being the control deck and like killing all of our stuff are not very high, because you need because you have all the dual caster mages and then all the clones and then Tick Rebel Fort and all that stuff. You have to dedicate a lot of slots to the combo, and then you need like cantrippy stuff, these shimmers to find your pieces, Pact of Negations to protect it. So there's just not much room left in the deck to try to play like interaction or so forth. I think the backup plan is usually Uro, which is a little concerning because we are milling our opponent. So if you mill them into Uro, that would have a potentially detrimental impact on our race, but vote it. Combat. It's it. Well, let's kill a Paradise Druid. Take 2. Opponent needs 4 mana to win anyway, so we don't have to worry about them comboing, and they need to attack, really. Post-combat, the combo's not nearly as exciting. Opponent passes. Well, Castle Lockway. Go to combat. Attack ya. Mill ya. Alright, no Uros. Hit ya. Mill ya. And yeah, sit on our counters. Blackguard would increase our clock, but I'm very afraid of what happened last game happening again, where our opponent has the combo plus counter backup. So 2 counters seems necessary. Alright, there's a Stormcaller. So we will Lofty Denial it. Opponent can pay, but then they don't have mana to combo with. Alright, opponent lets it go. I guess I could have a second Seagate Stormcaller. Glasspool Mimic. Alright, on the Paradise Druid. Sure. Hits us. Down to 12, but we untap. Go to combat. Hit ya. Mill ya. Ooh, Allosaurus Shepherd. That's worth being aware of. Mill ya. Fairy Miscreant. Pass the turn. Alright, kill us this turn, opponent, if you can. We are down to 1 counter. That's a land. Opponent. Oh, okay. Oh, I think we got it. Had the backup combo. Dual caster on the stack to copy it. The negate comes through, but we did see Allosaurus Shepherd. Ugh. Huh. So we might need more removal. Allosaurus Shepherd. I guess we should read Allosaurus Shepherd real quick. Hang on. I mean, I know it protects from counters. Is it all green spells or just green creature spells? Allosaurus Shepherd. All right. Let's see what this says. Can't be countered. Green spells you control can't be countered. So that means we can't counter Neoform. Huh. All right. Do we want to bring in more removal to fight that? That would be very bad. All right, let's... Okay, being on the draw, let's go back up some Bloodchief's Thirst. Maybe go down like a Duress and a Lofty Denial? And maybe... All right, Scavenger for Bloodchief's Thirst. Let's try it like that. Being on the draw, I think Bloodchief Source goes up in value anyway, because sniping a Llanowar Elves is relevant. Well, we'll see. Only I got an opponent. Wow. Oh, boy. That's a fast clock, but we are missing a land. We have 4 lords, though. Yeah, we're going to mulligan. All right. This is awkward because we don't have any creatures. Well, guys, Logwing go. Yeah, this might be tough. Opponent, Shimmer of Possibility. Well, that is a card in the graveyard. Yeah, we should have let on Watery Grave. Rather than the send a message, Castle Logwing. I mean, I guess the good news is our life total isn't super relevant. Well, Pathway on blue. Okay, things are looking a smidge worse. More lands, opponent. Forest, Paradise Druid. Okay, that's another land. Well, Watery Grave, untapped. Uh-oh. Yeah, we might just be dead here. Opponent gets and hits us. Well, we get to kill Paradise Druid. Play an island. Getting another card in the graveyard is actually super relevant at the moment. Opponent, tap land. Oh my god, another land. Alright, Castle Lockwayne. Go. Oh, we've drawn so many lands. Wall of Blossoms. We will counter it. Opponent, pass it. Oh my goodness, another one. Well, Castle Lockwayne. No, not like this. Opponent's passing. Well, I'm not above paying 5 to draw a card. Oh my god. Oh no, this is the nightmare. Holy lands. Opponent plays a Llanowar Elves. Okay. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh wow. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 out of 16. Oh. Yeah. This is potentially calculatorable. Paradise Druid. Opponent passes. Don't play the land, pass the turn. Soaring Thought Thief is good. At least that's a blocker. It also turns on a million Lofty Denials. Alright, Soaring Thought Thief. Lofty Denial. So Pact of Negation resolves. And then Lofty Denial. We want our opponent to have to pay for the pact next turn. Alright, opponent, maybe out of interaction. Oh, we get to block Paradise Druid. Take 1, down to 3. So we know our opponent's got to spend their next turn. Stormcaller. Well, Lofty Denial. So our opponent's got to spend their next turn paying for the pact. We'll play a Swamp. Play Wind Robber. Go attacking. Mill our opponent. Hit our opponent. Pass the turn. Opponent's got to pay the piper on the pact. Land. Kinda wouldn't mind being out of cards so we could draw with Castle Lockwayne a couple more times. Opponent. Passing. Alright, untap. Ooh, duress our opponent. That's not the worst. 2 Pacts of Negation, Seagate Stormcaller. We'll take the pact. Go to combat. Attack. Milia. Hit ya. Milia. Pass the turn. Opponent is still a Neoform away from comboing. Cycles the Triome. Land. Combat. Attacks. Paradise Druid. Well, we will counter it. The good news is we should stop hitting lands because we've already drawn like half of them. Is our opponent thinking about pacting? Wow. All right, sure. Well, we will draw. Down to 1. Just kidding about that land thing. We can still find them. Opponent gets Paradise Druid. Runs out Seagate Stormcaller. Yeah, well, we untap. Fairy Miscreant. Pathway. Pass the turn. Opponent's got to pay for the pact. Not dead on board because we have blockers. Opponent. Passing. Go to combat. Attack. Milia. Hit ya. 12. Wow, this is close. Cycles a Triome. Opponent untaps. We would like our opponent to attack here. Assuming our opponent didn't top deck something that kills us, but... What do you got, opponent? Combat. Attacks. Soaring Thought Thief. Block. 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 Clear the board. Combat Celebrant. Okay. And a Stormcaller. Okay. We draw Drown in the Lock. Alright. Pass the turn. Wow, this has been ridiculous. This has been so close. Oh, we could use another creature. Or just, like, life. If we could be drawing with Castle Lockwade, we spent so much life during our flood out point. Opponent passes. Ooh, well, Curious Obsession on Thought Thief. Go to combat, hit ya. Mill ya. Draw a card. Action, please. Alright, negate. Well, kill Combat Celebrant. Pass the turn. Oh my goodness, this is so close. Opponent. Thinking. Oh my god, untap land. Oh, that gives us lethal next turn. What does our opponent have? Expansion Explosion? We got the negate though. We got the negate, and that's game. Why did they play it untapped? Opponent. Yeah, that's game. I don't know why they played the land untapped. Did they need the red mana? They didn't even... Oh, I'm so confused. I mean, it probably wouldn't have mattered anyway. And we... Wow, rank it up. All right. I mean, it probably wouldn't have mattered. That was a ridiculously close game. Ridiculously close. All right, we'll take it. Oh, well, yeah. Sweet. Curious Rogues. I mean, for the budget... And even maybe not for the budget, the deck feels pretty effective. I will admit that I think the deck is actually pretty sweet. And doubly so, like, let's look at the rares real quick, because historic, of course, is arena only. So all that matters is rares and mythics. So as far as the main deck, we have Nighthawk Scavenger. So that's 4 main deck non-land rares. Lands, yes, there are a few. We have 11. So that gives us a total of 15 in the main deck. 0 in the sideboard. So 15 rares, 0 mythics. And honestly, like, what do you do? What do you do about the mana base? I wish I could just exclude that. Like, if we could exclude the land somehow, and you already have Watery Grave, Pathway, and Castle Lockwade, then it's 4 rares, which is about as cheap as it gets. So, yeah, all right. I mean, not bad. So what do we learn this week about Curious Rogues in Historic? And the deck felt really good. We ended up going 4-1 at Diamond on Magic Arena. So 1 level below Mythic, went 4-1, ranked up a little bit, which is pretty reasonable. The deck felt pretty competitive. And really, I don't know. I like the deck. I think the deck actually is in a pretty good spot, even though there's obviously a huge restriction on rares and mythics, but this is a type of deck that can really get by and still be competitive without spending many rares and mythics. So you got a fast clock, you got really good disruption. We saw that in the insane last game against Neoform, where all of our counter spells were just enough to eventually came through in a really ridiculous match. The only matchup we lost was to Mono Black Aggro, which probably a tough matchup. They have a bunch of recursive 1-drops. They have a bunch of 2-powered 1-drops, so they're a little faster than we are. And even that was like a really close 3-game matchup. But I feel like that is a hard matchup for us. So I feel like if you're looking for something really cheap to play in Historic, which in our small sample size at least, felt good enough to rank up with at fairly high levels, I think this is a good way to go. The only downside is, I'm not sure you can really make the deck much cheaper. Like, when you look at the deck list, could you cut Nighthawk Scavenger? I mean, I guess you could, but I think it's really good in the deck. You can't really cut the dual lands, you really need those. Castle Lockwade is actually really important to the deck to allow us to refill in slower matchups, so it's not really easy to get the deck under 0 mythics and 15 rares. But the good news is 0 mythics and 15 rares is already ridiculously cheap for a Historic deck, and you might already have the land. So if you like attacking, you like fairy style tempo decks, you like flyer decks, you like tribal decks, this deck has a little bit of everything, and it's super cheap, and it's super fun, and it's competitive. So if you want something new to try out in Historic and you don't got a ton of wild cards, give Curious Rogues a shot. The deck is super sweet. Anyway, that's been Curious Rogues. That's been our Bunch of Magic for this week. Thanks for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, help us out by clicking that like button down below. And to keep up on all the latest and greatest, click that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell icon to get alerts whenever we have new videos. And if you want to, check out some of our other sweet videos here and here.